Good morning. It's Friday, the 2nd of May, and this is the Breakfast Rundown with me, Zulfick Farzan. Now, on the Breakfast Rundown, we bring you details of what happened in Sri Lanka and across the world and give you an in-depth understanding of what's happening. So let's start off with something related to bribery and corruption this morning. Now, the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption has announced its intention to file charges in connection with 15 major fraud and corruption cases in the near future. Now, the Commission revealed that the charges are based on thorough investigations of complaints that had not previously been investigated. The review of these files has led to the decision to proceed with formal charges. Now, the Commission has also highlighted the complexity of the investigations, noting that they had to navigate intricate details and substantial evidence. To date, the Commission has initiated investigations into 300 complaints received over the past period. Now, according to the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption, among those implicated in these corruption allegations are several former ministers and political affiliates from the previous government. Now, at the same time, recently the results of the GCE advanced level were released, and those who have qualified for university entry have some good news from the University Grants Commission. Now, the University Grants Commission says that admission manual for university enrollment based on the recently released advanced level examination results will be published today. Online registration for university admission is scheduled to commence next week. Now, this year, 43,330 students are to be enrolled to universities across Sri Lanka. Now, in addition, the UGC has revealed the introduction of a new degree program at the Gampaha Wickramaratcha University of Indigenous Medicine. The newly introduced course will offer students the opportunity to pursue studies in service management as well. Now, sticking with the university system, the Ministry of Education, Higher Education and Vocational Education has said they are commencing the process of recruiting individuals to fill the vacancies in university faculty positions. Deputy Minister Dr. Madhura Senaviratne stated that these efforts are being carried out at university level. The Federation of University Teachers Association, or FUTA, has said that there are approximately 2,000 essential faculty positions vacant across Sri Lankan universities. Now, the Deputy Minister has said that these vacancies will be filled based on a priority basis. Now, if you were perusing social media over the past 2 days, you might have come across social media posts with regard to the death of a university student, linking it to a possible act of ragging as well, and calling for action by the Sri Lankan authorities. Now, Sri Lankan authorities have taken action. Now, the Vice Chancellor of the Sabaragamuwa University, Professor Sunil Shanta, says that a 3-member committee has been appointed to investigate the sudden death of a student. He said that the committee has been instructed to submit its report without delay. While second-year students of the Faculty of Technology are currently attending classes online, it has been reported that a deceased student arrived at the university on April 26th and took part in an Urdu festival on the 27th. Now, although the student was not officially assigned hostel accommodation, it is now being reported that he had been staying with a group of third-year students. Now, meanwhile, Sri Lanka police has also launched an investigation into the death of this student following a complaint by another university student alleging that this death was linked to an act of ragging. Now, authorities have further noted that if ragging is confirmed in connection with this incident, legal action will be taken under the relevant criminal laws in the country. Yesterday, the 1st of May, was May Day, a day for labour struggle, a day for workers' rights. And political parties in Sri Lanka had massive campaign rallies ahead of the local government election, that is on the 6th of May. And they also addressed several issues with their supporters during these major rallies. So let's start off with the President. Now, what did the President say? Now, President Anurakkumara Dissanayake in his speech emphasized that the traditional political practices are no longer viable. He also criticized those who falsely predicted the government's fall. Now, dressed in red, the color of the JVP, the president stressed the need for a strategic and deliberate approach to transform the Sri Lankan society. He mentioned that the government is making efforts to increase the basic salaries and allowances without being asked to do so by the people. Now, at the same time, he has urged the general public to move forward and embrace new political movements aimed at strengthening the public service. Now, in his speech, President Anurukumara Dissanayake also invited trade unions to join hands with the NPP government in rebuilding the nation. Now, he is also emphasizing that the NPP government will ensure their rights as well. Now, at the same time, another presidential candidate who ran for the presidential election last year is the son of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa, Namal Rajapaksa. Now, Namal Rajapaksa is the national organizer of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, the SLPP, also commonly known as the Pohottua. Now, in his statement or in his speech on May Day, he accused the JVP of forgetting the working people who helped them come to power. Now, he also defended the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna's decisions not to impose excessive taxes during the people's struggles. Now, he also acknowledged difficult decisions were made during the COVID-19 pandemic, taking into account the people's future. He said that the SLPP will continue to fight for the people's cause at personal cost. Now, heading into the elections with a promise to acquit Mahinda Rajapaksa from the government of President Anurukumara Dissanayake. Now, what he said was, during the government of President Anurukumara Dissanayake itself, Namal Rajapaksa will make efforts to acquit Mahinda Rajapaksa from all these allegations and charges that are being brought against him. Now, he also said that the current government fears the SLPP, and that is why the SLPP supporters are being unjustly targeted by the government. The Samaga Janabala Vegya, led by Sajith Premadasa, also held a May Day rally yesterday. Now, Sajith Premadasa expressed disappointment with the government's failure to fulfill promises of prosperity and improved living conditions. Now, Premadasa also revealed that despite promises to reduce electricity bills, there are plans to increase them after the election linked to the IMF discussions. Now, he also criticized President Anurukumara Dissanayake for making false promises about reducing electricity tariffs. Further, he criticized the government for failing to provide fuel at port prices and for the high price of essential goods like rice, coconuts and milk powder. Now, he also highlighted the deteriorating law and order situation with murders and gangs taking control. Now, in order to address these issues, Sajith Premadasa announced plans to establish a security committee at every village and town to restore law and order. Now, if you want to listen to these statements, you can visit our YouTube channel. These statements are already uploaded and you can have a listen to them to have an understanding of what they were saying and what was the crux of these statements on May Day. Now, shifting gears from May Day into smuggling, Sri Lanka customs officials at the Bandaranaike International Airport have apprehended 3 suspects attempting to illegally bring in over 3,500 invasive aquatic species into the country. Now, you can see those species on your screens right now. Now, the suspects who were arrested are aged 26, 31 and 22 and were found to have concealed the aquatic species in their luggage. Now, customs revealed that the species were transported from Thailand. The suspects were detained during a routine inspection at the airport. Now, custom officials warned that releasing such invasive species into local water systems pose a severe threat to the country's biodiversity. The species and the suspects have been handed over to the Department of Animal Quarantine for further action. Now, an investigation has also been launched into a possible network of smuggling these species and the motives behind the attempt to smuggle these invasive aquatic species. Now, let's shift gears to the United States of America. Now, across the world, the US has garnered attention after US President Donald Trump on the 2nd of April decided to impose reciprocal tariffs on almost all countries in the world. Now, these tariffs are supposed to come into effect on the 9th. However, on the 10th, he announced a grace period of 90 days for negotiations. However, he set a baseline reciprocal tariff of 10% for all countries trading with the US except for China. Now, while this is all happening, some other developments also took place where a journalist was added to a Signal group chat with members of the Defense Administration of the United States. Now, this journalist also came out and revealed details of what was being discussed in this Signal group chat, including the preemptive strikes on Yemen as well. Now, US President Donald Trump has announced that he is nominating Mike Waltz to serve as UN ambassador after shifting him from his role as National Security Advisor. And Marco Rubio will now serve as Secretary of State and interim National Security Advisor. Now, Waltz has been on shaky ground since he added the journalist to a group chat on military strikes. Vice President J.D. Vance was blaming the media for framing Waltz's departure from the top national security position as a firing. Vance said that Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth's job is safe, quote unquote, when asked if there are further changes coming to the president's senior echelon of officials, and in particular if Hegseth's job is secure. And pressed on whether the move was a direct result of Waltz's action in a Signal group chat with top Trump administration national security officials, Vance said, no, it's not. Well, these are some developments that are taking place in the United States of America. Now, longevity is something that many are looking forward to, despite aging with time. Now, a 115-year-old British woman born in the Edwardian era has become the world's oldest living person. Ethel Carterham, who was born in 1909, yes, she was born in 1909, is the oldest known Briton to ever live and was born near the end of Edward VII's reign. Now, she took the title of the oldest living person after the previous record holder, Ina Canabaro Lucas, a Brazilian nun, died at the age of 116 on the 30th of April. Now, research organizations Longevity Quest and Gerontology Research Group, which verify ages for the Guinness World Records, said Carterham is now the official title holder. Now, Carterham has lived in Surrey for 50 years and has 3 granddaughters, and here's a catch, she has 5 great-great-grandchildren. Carterham is the first Briton to claim the title of the world's oldest person since 1987, when 114-year-old Anna Williams was the record holder. Some interesting stories happening across the world, and that brings an end to this morning's edition of the Breakfast Rundown with me, Zulfick Farzan, until I meet you again on Monday with some interesting stories that will be happening over the weekend. Take care and stay safe.